What's up with the squad? Back with another video. I seen the title was going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. So you have this Homan news, and says calls for a federal level investigation. This is going. When it comes down to Ilhan Omar and what she's doing, what she's about, and that it's definitely escalating in Minnesota. A lot when it comes down to it. Many of y'all know that Ilhan Omar, it's almost like it's this continuation of more so, and I don't want to make this sound horrible or anything, but more so we talk about it. We talk about it, but there's no motion within so much of an arrest right now. But I definitely say that when it comes down to investigating is one thing, and I know a lot of people feel a certain way, because I truly do. I have to get on here and basically give more so of updates, and it's kind of sickening even thinking about it and talking about it, because it's like you feel like nothing is getting done. Check it out right here.
Hi, Harris. Democratic Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar did not meet the deadline to produce documents and communications with defendants from that massive Feeding Our Future scandal, and she doesn't have to. The Minnesota House Committee on Fraud Prevention and State Agency Oversight made the unprecedented move of trying to subpoena Omar to produce the records. That subpoena required a 2/3 vote of the committee, and the vote failed 5-3, with the vote falling strictly on party lines. Every Republican voted in favor of the subpoena. Every Democrat voted against.
There's an investigation to be had, and this is a subpoena for the information. If there's nothing to be found here, then there's no problem issuing this subpoena. So let's bring light to the darkness.
Part of the reason that I was resisting the subpoena is the lack of confidence that it would be used, that any information we get would be used to gain actual insights. And in fact, just the opposite, that the activities in the committee have tended to prioritize, in my view, political theater and not going after fraud.
Omar championed the 2020 Meals Act, which removed guardrails on COVID relief money, and Republicans say it opened the gates for the program to be exploited to the tune of $250 million. Meals were billed to taxpayers and never delivered. Now, evidence in the trial for Amy Bach, convicted as the ringleader in Feeding Our Future scandal, showed multiple communications with Omar and her office. However, back in January, Bach told our Alexis McAdams there were no substantive communications with Representative Omar. Harris, back to you.
Tell y'all, definitely crazy. Not even gonna lie, definitely crazy. You have it right here. It says, you have Representative Tom Emmer. Apologize, I'm thinking of Tim Walz. I see Tim Walz now here. Tom Emmer exposed Ilhan Omar for sponsoring the very legislation that created the funds stolen by her Somali and Muslim neighbors. Now, I'm gonna show y'all a couple things. A few things that's going down right now when it comes down to the Somalis. One thing about it, and I've mentioned this before, and I don't know if it's a post that I put in here, but I'll definitely tell y'all that I talked about Ohio a lot when it came down to a lot of Somalians and what they're doing. When I tell y'all that it's getting I ain't going to say as bad as Minnesota and on the same level, but it's definitely getting pretty bad there as well. Check it out right here, Tom.
Last 8 years in Minnesota, and his has run rampant. Ilhan Omar is at the center of the Feeding Our Future scandal. She not only was the sponsor of the bill that created the fund that they ripped off, these are her neighbors. These are the people she represents. And by the way, the people that she was in communication with. You know that Amy Bach, the head of the Feeding Our Future scandal, was sentenced to 41 years yesterday. She has said that Ilhan Omar was aware.
Right.
And then you look at Keith Ellison. This guy was literally working with Somali fraudsters to frustrate investigations in return for campaign donation. It's been shown, Charlie. And Tim Walz, you can't tell us that he did not know what was going on right under his nose for 7.5 years. I'll tell you what my constituents are asking every day, Charlie. When are these people going to be held accountable? When is somebody going to go to jail for ripping everybody off?
And I know that you'll stay on top of it. Fox.
And I know, and I feel like that's a question that everybody's asking. When are people, when it comes down to it. And the thing is, I seen something today. Pretty sure a Somalian had got caught with the fraud, and I'm pretty sure it was today. And I'm mad I didn't put it in here, but I guess, this is more so about Ilhan Omar. But pretty sure they got sentenced to 6 months within all the fraud. I guarantee if it was me or you, it wouldn't be. It'd be, what, times 50. I'm telling y'all, times 50. You have it right here. These 2 Minnesota residents arrested for $21 million Medicaid fraud scheme. Nick Shirley commented, said the typical lyrics. And truly, I mean, it definitely is. It's definitely crazy. Somebody put, I see a pattern here, and it's definitely a pattern. It's definitely a pattern. I almost thought this was Ilhan Omar. Not even trying to be funny. On the left here. But when I tell y'all that it's definitely crazy, it's the fact that you having to see this every other day. This is literally every other day. This is not like a month-to-month thing. This is every other day that you see another Somalian getting arrested, or you seeing a Somalian that they're looking for because that individual has fled. I'm telling y'all, it's definitely sickening and definitely crazy when it comes down to a lot of this. Says DOJ has announced major arrests for fraud in Minnesota. Says 15 individuals indicted, 90 million in fraud spread across 7 different programs. Programs forced to shut down. You literally have it here. RFK Jr., Dr. Oz, Fraud Task Force Vice Chair Andrew Ferguson, and Assistant AG of Fraud Colin McDonald are all in Minnesota for this announcement. Governor Tim Walz has allowed the fraud to thrive in the state, really, honestly, for too long, and definitely needs to be charged.
Good morning to you all. My name is Colin McDonald, Assistant Attorney General for the National Fraud Enforcement Division at the Department of Justice. I am joined today by a lineup of committed public servants who are devoted to protecting the financial security of America. Today, we are announcing criminal charges against 15 defendants in Minnesota for fraud schemes that targeted over $90 million in taxpayer dollars. Let me be clear up front about something. This is not the end of our work in Minnesota. This is not the end of the beginning of our work in Minnesota. This is the beginning of our work in Minnesota. The fraud here in Minnesota is shocking. Our cases today involve 7 different state-managed Medicaid programs that have been systematically pilfered by fraudsters who treated Minnesota-run programs as their personal piggy bank. One of the programs has been completely shut down because there's no money left. It's all gone. That was Minnesota's state-run Housing Stabilization Services Program, designed to help the homeless find and maintain housing. It was estimated in 2020 that it would cost only about $2.5 million a year to fund this program, but it ended up costing almost 50 times that much, over $104 million by 2024 due to fraud. And because of all the fraud, Minnesota had to shut the program down in 2025, and now these services no longer exist for these vulnerable homeless populations. The same trends exist for other Minnesota-run taxpayer-funded programs. An autism program that cost the taxpayer $600,000 just 6 years ago skyrocketed to over $400 million. And to be sure, that number is not driven by supply and demand. It is not driven by health care or charity. It is fraud.
I'm telling y'all, it is fraud. Definitely. And we all see it. We all see it. And what's funny about it is that they're arresting and getting all I'm talking about all of these Somalians, but the main ones aren't. That's what makes me mad. The main ones aren't. When we talking about Keith Ellison, we talking about Fry, we talking about Walsh, we talking about Omar. We're talking about the individuals that truly is, getting the money. You gotta think. You have a Somalian making what? 2, 3 million, 4 million. What y'all think they making? I'm telling y'all, it's pretty wicked. I definitely tell you that. Definitely getting crazy. Reverend Jordan Wells posted this. Says this isn't Mogadishu. Pretty sure that's how you say that. Mogadishu. This is a public school auditorium in Minneapolis. Young girls in hijabs and traditional Somali dress Somali dress, wave the Somali flag, and perform in Somalia in Somali for a crowd of mostly Somali families. Says Minnesota, once a safe, high-trusted heartland, now has one of America's largest Somali population. Schools and neighborhoods have transformed. Taxpayers-funded events often look like they belong overseas. This raises real questions. Man, just look at this. And it's not to talk about anything. It's wild. Let me tell y'all something. Actually looking and seeing, I'm gonna be real with y'all. These are all Somalian kids. These are all Somalian kids. I don't see any type of like Caucasian, African American, Hispanic. I don't see none of that. I literally just see Somalians. And I'm not even trying to be like funny or nothing. Like I truly do not see any Somalians. And if y'all looking at this, the Caucasian. This is like teacher though. This is a teacher. There's no student next to her that looks any type of related to her. Completely changed around. America absorbed immigrants who learned English, embraced American values, and didn't create the places they left. When that stops, Minnesota changes. Says schools should prioritize American culture and unity. What happened to the land of 10,000 lakes? Man, I'm telling y'all, this is absolutely insane to me. It's truly insane. Seeing videos of the malls, that's going on, and you see so many. It's just wicked. It's truly wicked, and it's truly just, I don't even know. It's almost like you just don't have words for it. You truly don't have words. You literally have right here, Tom Homan, Bordazar says, to stay tuned, basically. Says Ilhan Omar has one of the most over that. I'm going to show y'all the video, of course, of Tom Homan saying that. Because I don't want nobody in my comments, people always in the comments, oh, he's lying, he's this, he's that. No lies told. Ilhan Omar has been one of the most over-the-top members of Congress in so many ways. Here are just a few of her impressive accomplishments. This is stated by Tony Saruga on X. Y'all can go, follow. Allegedly marrying her brother to gain access to the United States, directly connected to the Somali fraud ring in Minneapolis, Minnesota, adjust the accounting error in her financial report from literally 30 million to of wealth level to 65,000. Says there has been a rash of congressional departures, including their good friend. This is just pretty obvious and pretty insane of honestly where a lot of this is headed and where a lot of this is going when it comes down to Ilhan Omar. And if they're doing this the right way, like obviously, I'm not going to doubt what Tom Homan says, and to stay tuned, truly see an arrest coming soon. Check it out.
I sat down with the vice president. He was talking about fraud. He just finished up his first roundtable meeting about fraud and how to attack it with the entire department, with all the department heads. It was very impressive. Of course, everybody's in favor of this. And I asked about the Somali daycare fraud. And he just straight up jumped right in and said, Stephen Miller's upstairs, and he has proof that Ilhan Omar lied on her immigration forms. We have that paperwork. We know she did this. And now we're looking for how to take action. Can you fill us in? Do you know what's going to happen? Is the Trump administration going to go there? floor is yours.
The whole file is being reviewed. A lot of smart people are on it. Stay tuned.
A lot of smart people are on it. Stay tuned. I mean, that's a W response, though.
Could you color for us what of the elucidated and many crimes there are that it could be? Because
I cannot get ahead.
There's like a lot of potential things that could have been there.
I can't get ahead of the investigation, but I know that some of this. I know people that are involved in the review, and they're really smart people, and it's in good hands.
All right. It's in good hands. Okay.
State Farm.
We got the Allstate endorsement from Tom Homan. And
I said State Farm, Allstate. See, look at me. I'm messing up. I've had a day, though. I'm not even going to lie. I definitely had a day. I didn't even tell y'all at the beginning of this video, but I do, would like if y'all could give, some prayers. I should have said that at the beginning of the video. I know I told y'all that I go fishing at times, and I'm sure he won't mind if I say this. I'm not going to, obviously give out his name, but, I got a buddy of mine that I actually met, fishing and stuff. And, he has cancer, and he's, going through, a tough time and stuff like that. And I know he is, even though that I know he's a strong individual. I know y'all probably seen when I first started the video, probably like, are you okay, Recklezz? Because right before this, I had to, definitely get myself together and stuff. But, it's just some things that, I thought about, with losing people, they lost. And I know I told y'all that I love the car community. I lost, and one of my good friends, years ago. And I just lost another good friend, the motorcycle crash, not long ago at all. And then actually meeting somebody, when it comes down to this fishing stuff and just I try not to think of bad thoughts and stuff like that. But I don't know. It becomes tough. Definitely becomes tough sometimes. Even to talk about, I usually don't even talk about none of this when I'm on here. But things definitely do get tough sometimes, and you definitely got people that's, obviously in your corner. I got y'all that I talk to a lot. But one thing about it is that, I believe in God. I trust God. I pray to God a lot. So I'm asking y'all, to say that, prayer, for my buddy Woody. He's definitely an amazing man, I'll tell you that. I didn't know, I ain't gonna say that I didn't really know anything about fishing when I tell you that man, I'm pretty sure, has been fishing for over 27 years. He's been fishing for a while. He's definitely been fishing for a while, and he's taught me a lot already. And it's like you meet, a person, and it seems like you just know them for years, and you just become like the bestest friends. That's how it feels, honestly. I don't care what nobody say. Nobody can ever change how I feel. I'm not a person that always bring up race. It's a older white guy. I'm not a person that does do stuff like that, but nobody can ever tell me that, like, y'all, people can't tell me and like sway me over to think that certain individuals mean, certain individuals is bad, and this, that, and the other. We're all human. God created us all, and that's what matters. Truly. Even though that, it is a white guy, and I probably have I'm talking about no whatsoever. I'm probably no kid to him. But under God, we definitely are. I look at him as my uncle already, and I tell him that all the time. But he's going through a time right now. I'm pretty sure he'll be having surgery soon. So if y'all can say those prayers, I definitely appreciate it. Don't mean to make, and get all sentimental on y'all. But you have right here, says President Trump went off on Somali fraudsters and Ilhan Omar. Before I had started all of that, check out what President Trump said.
They're finding billions and billions and billions of dollars, and I just said, that's good. He said, you haven't seen anything yet. Just said that. And, if he does really great, we'll have a balanced budget without having to do anything. This is the kind of money they stole. They're crooks. They're thieves, and I hope that Todd is going to do a real job. These are crooked people. These are thieves. This isn't like a mistake. Just talking about one person, he got hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars for securing one man, for taking care of one elderly man. He was a service. He got paid millions of dollars for taking care of one man. Total crook. They're all crooks. The Somalians, what they've done to Minnesota, the Somalians, they're crooked as hell. Ilhan Omar, crooked as hell. They're all crooks. And we got them. We got them. Now we're putting the clamps on. But boy, I tell you, that's an impressive group of guys that you have behind you. I was watching that, and a couple of very strong women too. But I was watching that last night. I said, I'm proud of you guys. In 2 months, we've exposed tens of billions of dollars of defrauded taxpayer money, prosecuted numerous fraudsters, Todd, and stopped billions of suspicious payments, very suspicious. Oh, you haven't seen anything yet? What do you see? I'm getting reports from Todd, from JD. I've never seen anything like it. The kind of, just hundreds of billions of dollars was stolen. And no other administration would do what we're doing.
At all. And I definitely love that they're doing it and they're staying on top of it. I definitely say that. I definitely say that when it comes down to it. You got it right here. It says former ICE Director Tom Homan has publicly called for a federal investigation, when it comes down to Ilhan Omar immigration history, as well as all the fraud and things that's going on with her. It says right here, do you support Tom Homan's plan to deport Ilhan Omar for immigration fraud and other things that's going on, within Ilhan Omar and, the Somalian community? Let me know in the comments. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love to y'all. Definitely. I'm not even gonna lie. Y'all don't know how much, I appreciate y'all and I love y'all. Y'all are the ones that keep me going. I do, obviously, you got the family, and stuff like that. But one thing about it, y'all keep me going, man. I feel if I didn't have the family that I have and, God in my life, I started praying heavy, or y'all, I don't know where I would be, bro. I don't even know. Thinking about it, I don't know. Just know you watching. You've been subscribed, even to the new individuals that have subscribed. I appreciate y'all a lot. If y'all made it this far in this video, I definitely appreciate y'all a lot. I definitely say that. It has been a little bit tough night for me, but I don't know. It's 2 o'clock in the morning right now. I don't know. Maybe I'm really just, feeling that, I usually don't even talk. That's the crazy thing. So I'm actually surprised, I even let y'all know some stuff, but I feel like it's definitely important to say it out loud. You know what I mean? I don't know. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Catch y'all next one.